All right, guys, sorry about the delay. Yeah, just had some problems logging in for whatever reason. So anyway, we got up and running, and I haven't got a coaching video for you tonight. I've just got a handful of things to say, and then I guess we can ask if there's any questions or comments from the weekend's game. But some milestones to start off with. All boundary umpires this week. First Division 1 game, Tyson Hartman, he actually umpired last weekend, so well done, Tyson. 50th game coming up this week is Guido Porcaro, one of the great names in umpiring. And his 400th game, Neil Rankin, the boundary umpires head coach, is going around for his 400th this week, which is a great achievement. So well done to those three guys. We started last weekend with some women's grand finals, and they all went very well, so well umpired. This week we've got the rest of the women's grand final, so just running through them. Women's Div 6, I'll just read throughout the field umpires. The rest of the boundary and goal umpire appointments will be in the email that I send out, but women's Div 6 will be Pat Lysett, Steve Pringle. Women's Div 5, Craig Ullman, Rob Midland. Women's Div 4, Brenton Jarman, Ian Milson. Women's Div 1 reserves, Gerald Jones and Justin House. And Women's Division 1, Luke Harrington and Chris Lambert. So well done to you guys. Enjoy the day. Hopefully it's as nice a weather as it was last weekend. Again, we've got tickets for the ground for all those running umpires, and they'll be at training this Wednesday night. And if you can't make it to training on Wednesday night, then on Thursday or Friday, you can pick it up during the day at the league office. Now, it's usually this time of year where I have a bit of a chat about what I'm just going to mention coming up. It's things that I learned during my umpiring career, and also, I guess, what was reinforced to me every year from, I had one umpires coach, and that was Shane Harris. And so for those that used to Shane and what his speech is at this time of year, there's a few things from what he said, but it's really true in the messaging that he gave me, and hopefully I'm passing on to you guys to think about, because this time of year there's always a heightened level of emotion around finals time. We get it from players, coaches, spectators, but also from umpires. And I guess for many of you would have had ambitions at the start of the year. You'd have hopes for this time of year where you want to end up. The beauty of our league is that there's so many grand finals and so many opportunities, but some of you might want to get a higher grade that you end up getting, or some of you may want to get a grand final, you don't get one. And so that can be difficult to deal with. And I guess the best umpires know how to control their emotions and deal with difficult situations, and that can include coping with disappointment. And so it's this time of year where your own character can be truly tested, and those with emotional intelligence and those that realise the best way to deal with coping with disappointments choose the right options, and those others can go an alternative path. And I just want to take you through those couple of different options. The first one is to recognise that being disappointment can be a positive thing. It does show that you have pride in your performances, you're ambitious, you're trying to get the best out of yourself. But however, you can only control what you can control. And sometimes you don't end up where you want to be. And I guess you can accept some personal responsibility for that. And if there is something you can do to change the situation next year, you make a plan, especially over the pre-season, but do what you need to do next year to change how you end up this year if you end up disappointed. Or it might be, that you are aging, your body is no longer capable of doing what you used to, or what you really need to do to get where you want to go. So in that case, you might not be able to change anything about where you end up this year. And my advice in that situation is just be grateful for what you can do, and the opportunities you do get. It might not be you end up with the grand final you want, or a grand final, but yeah, I guess it is really about looking in the mirror, seeing what you can, where you are in life, what you can do to change it if you want to change it. The other option is where you do find a number of umpires and that is what Shane used to call loser's corner. And loser's corner is a place where you sit and feel sorry for yourself. You want to blame others, usually the coach, for where you find yourself. Being a loser's corner means you want to criticise other umpires, and you resent what opportunities they get. And those in this category will try and lure others to think like them, and so you can all sit and feel miserable together. And really, if you want to enjoy umpiring, you want to enjoy your life, there's really only one option to approach this time of year, and taking that first option of controlling what you can control, being appreciative for what you do get, being happy for others. That is, as hard as it is, the best way to deal with any disappointments at this time of year. So again, a similar message to what I've said over the years, but for those that haven't heard it before or need a general reminder, it was worth bringing up again. And there are umpires around, even those that are no longer umpiring with us, that are finding themselves in loser's corner already. And if you feel yourself feeling that way, pick up the phone and have a chat with me directly, rather than picking up a phone and trying to find someone else in loser's corner to chat with. You know, I can have a reasonable conversation. We might not always agree, but it's better to get off your chest and speak to me directly, rather than just going and being miserable with someone else. All right. And one of those things that often, if you want to change where you end up or get better results next year, training in the off season. So while we're not at the end of this year yet, it isn't long till grand finals, and we'll head into the off season. So I encourage you all to enjoy a break initially, but if you really want to get yourself set up for next year to have a great year, important you set yourself a good pre-season training program before we commence official training in the first week of February. So I've got some ideas on how you can improve your fitness if you're keen to put your mind to that. One is finding other umpires to train with together on a regular basis. Ian Gore, Sam Colella, and others already meet a couple of times a week in the off season. Ian Gore mentioned that he's happy for anyone to contact him, and if they meet in town, I think it's a Wednesday night and Saturday morning. If you're keen to train with that group, just get in touch with Gorey and he'll let you know the details. But there may be others that live in your area that you want to meet up with and push each other along. Another suggestion is to approach Tony Simons, who obviously is our fitness coach. He can write you a plan. He can give you some guidance and tips on what you should be doing. And the other suggestion, and I know some of you already do this, but I discovered them a couple of years ago, and they're fantastic. There's 5-kilometre park runs every Saturday morning. They're spread right across the city, even regionally. They're free. They're great events. You know, it's 100, 200 people that come together. They're timed. There's no pressure on you to, have to do a certain time or anything. You do what you have to do, but it's just a great event each week that you can use to build up your fitness over summer. So there's just some ideas and suggestions, but yeah, I'd encourage you all to have a think about what you want to do in the upcoming summer to get yourself ready for next year. Now, after the season finishes, there'll be one more written feedback sheet sent to all training umpires. If any umpire wishes to meet me individually to review the year or discuss next year, happy to find a time to discuss that. If you want a meeting like that, just wait till after the season finished, email me and we'll sort out a time. And the final thing I wanted to mention tonight, we've got our last Zoom meeting next week. Really excited about having the special guests that we've got coming on next week. It's Brett Roseberry, who at the moment is the most experienced AFL field umpire on the list. I think he's done 450 games. He's a good chance to break the all-time record by the end of his career. He's done numerous AFL grand finals. He's just a brilliant bloke. You'll love hearing from him. His experiences are huge, and he's my favourite umpire to watch. So it's going to be a great Zoom meeting next week. I'll sort of ask him on how he's been so successful, what he does at finals times to perform so well. It'll be a good way to finish the year and leading into the men's finals, which obviously start next week. So that's all I've got for you this evening. Any comments or questions that any of you want to come forward and bring to the group?
Yeah, Colin, I'm just curious of just what you just said then. He's one of your favourite umpires to watch. Why? What is that? Is that because of his charisma, the way he blows his whistle? So what is it that entertains you about the umpire that's done, so many games?
So yeah, Brett is incredibly good decision maker. He has a great way of communicating with players. He's extremely composed, incredibly professional. He just nails it. He just knows what to do at the right time. I just love watching him umpire a game. And I guess I've seen him perform at the highest level for the last almost 20 years, and always admired him. And I guess you would ask most umpires, and they have a favourite umpire they like watching at AdFL level, and he happens to be mine. So pretty excited about having a chat with him next week.
Yeah, that's interesting. Just trying to develop that whole culture of the thought process of umpires. It's actually quite interesting. Good on you. Thanks.
I see Barry Lewis is on the line there too. I just want to shout out to Barry. Well handled on the weekend, mate. We had a couple of pretty difficult situations in your game. Issued a red card for something where an offer's been given to the club, and then where the other umpire had to deal with a pretty nasty situation. Well done, mate, for what you did in the game.
It's not fair.
Yeah, that's not fair.
For you to take so long to get home, when you know that.
All right, sounds like I got a bit of noise in the background there, Barry.
We'll just ring the lady.
No, that's Mike Raven.
I can't because she goes to bed.
Sounds like
I reckon. Sorry, mate.
Claire, do you want to come to
There's
this?
something going on there somewhere. Isn't
I think it might be Mike Raymond, actually. Mike, did you have something to say, mate? I'll meet you then. All right, guys. Unless there's anyone else that's got anything to say, that's all I've got for you tonight. Again, sorry about the delays in starting the Zoom, but we got there eventually. And we've got not long to go now, and it's time to really perform at our best. This week, last night, a round game for the men. Sides playing to get into the finals, some trying to avoid relegation, and the pressure will be on. So look forward to another big round of footy. Right, guys.